going on, everybody? It's Ashton, your coach of the Halifax Huntails, and today I am here with another Pokemon Draft League content video. This time we are facing our Week 3 opponent for Season 4 of the URSDL, TOX. He is the coach of the Pallet Town Plague. One thing to note about TOX is he's a very, very competitive battler. Before I get into, his draft and everything, he once mentioned that he had been in many competitive, not draft scenes, but just like Pokemon battling scenes where he had faced very notable people in the community, and he just seems like a very competitive Pokemon player. Very, very tough opponent. So he's gonna be another gauntlet for me to face down at the early stages of this season. We're getting the heat early. We're getting all the hard matchups out of the way, I think. But so despite what my opponent's record is, they are 0-2. So despite what the record shows, they are not a slouch by any means. That's the point I was kind of trying to make with this intro. They just had kind of a little bit of a rough start to the season. One forfeit loss due to some unforeseen circumstances. Very, very unfortunate, but we're hoping to bounce back. We're hoping to keep the ball rolling, and I'm sure they're going to bring their A game versus us. Without further ado, I'll kind of get into what we're also going to be facing down in terms of their team composition. So my opponent TOX has access to Annihilate, Arcanine Hisui, Swampert, Klefki, Noivern, Cryogonal, Glimmet, Mega Audino, Jirachi, Greninja Protein, Ampharos, and Coughing, which is their team mascot. I'm very, very pleased. I was very, very pleased when I saw that draft pick at the end of the draft. Not a lot of people would have the guts to do that, so I'm very excited to, I don't know, maybe I'll be the first team to have to face down such a threatening Pokemon, but we'll have to wait and see, I guess. But yeah, I am very, very worried in a couple aspects of this matchup this week, because there's just a lot of different modes that TOX has access to on his draft. A lot of different modes where different Pokemon are threatening as well. I could see things like a Screens Clefty to support things like Annihilate or Banded Arcanine Hisui being an issue for how my team is comprised. I think my draft plan in general really struggles against those two Pokemon offensively. Or my draft in general. But as any draft would, I think, really depends on how many dedicated checks or natural dedicated checks certain drafts have to those Pokemon. But I think my draft is one of the ones that struggles with that pretty naily. Of course, there's not a lot of switch-ins to both those Pokemon. Like, there's not one Pokemon that really switch into either of those things, but it's a interesting matchup. Screens Klefki is something that I'm worried about because it allows Pokemon like Annihilate, Arcanine, Greninja, and Jirachi to become even more problematic for me. I could also see my opponent going for something along the lines of a Trick Room mode versus me. I think there's some very scary instances mid-game where Mega Audino with Calm Mind could be a big threat to my draft, especially with the coverage of Moonblast or Fairy plus Fire. I don't know if Audino gets Moonblast. I don't think it does. I believe it only gets Dazzling Gleam, but I'll have to double check on that. But yeah, just a lot of different threatening things. Very, very fast mons as well, like Noivern, could be an issue for my draft. Kind of forced me to run some prep options like you will see here in a bit. I've run a couple Scarfers in particular to hopefully catch some offensive mons like Noivern and Greninja off guard. But yeah, so without further ado, I'm going to kind of get into my team for this week. So I'll start it off with Darmgaller. Pretty standard mon. It's a mon that I will never say that it's a bad mon. It's always one that it takes very minimal effort to prep with. So it's something I was kind of always going to be intrigued to use, and it's going to make its second appearance here in our Week 3 bout. But so it's built basically with the coverage moves that it needs to be able to hit everything at least neutrally. The only exceptions for it potentially being able to 2-hit KO stuff are things like Defensive Swampert and perhaps a Klefki behind Reflect with the right investments in defense. I don't know if a Flare Blitz will kill, I have to double check that. But yeah, there's just a couple things that can potentially not get innately 2-hit KO'd. I think Swampert's the main one though, so I think what Darm provides for me here is a lot of pressure on certain mons defensively this week. So every time that Darm comes in, it really just threatens to 2-hit KO something. And this is another reason why I'm worried about coughing. EV coughing with Will-O-Wisp can definitely be a problem for this Pokemon. I click the wrong move at the wrong time or choose to stay in on a turn where I shouldn't, and I get burned, and all of a sudden Darmgaller's ability to do its job, as previously stated, becomes innately harder. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna keep my eyes out for coughing. And I promise I'm not memeing, this is actually a legitimate concern. So you can hold me to it if you don't see that my opponent brings coughing when the battle starts. You know, it is what it is. You can feel free to berate me in the comments for that, but I think coughing has an alright matchup against me, so hold me to it. But yeah, that's the idea behind Darm. Zygarde. So I kind of want to get back to this mon. I won't say too much at the current moment. I'll hop back once I get to one of my later on members, because it has some very good synergy, and it pairs really well with basically what my game plan is this week. So this is a mon that, if it works the way it should, can definitely win me the game. I don't see many ways outside of a low health Greninja Water Shuriken or an Arcanine E-Speed for me to not be able to sweep with this mon. So that's the whole goal behind this, is to be able to just put the most amount of offensive pressure I can on a draft like TOX's, which is a very hyper offensive draft from my perspective. Yeah, it's built to out offense his offense. Yeah, Bulu. It is kind of an awkward mon this week. I felt like I kind of needed to bring it Scarf, given that most of my opponents' Pokemon that are used for general chip damage in the matchup are faster. With Bulu's awkward speed tier being, I think, base 75, it's just something I need to kind of account for. And I unfortunately was forced to run Jolly this week rather than Adamant. I really did want to kind of stretch for Adamant, because an Adamant Woodhammer from this Pokemon does so much work against my opponent's draft. Like, the only thing that could really switch into this comfortably would be a Noivern. And even that doesn't take the Woodhammer very well. So yeah, just a very fun mon this week. I think it's going to put in a lot of work offensively. Even if it doesn't necessarily live for very long, given that I'll be taking away most of my own health, it will put holes in things. So that's the idea behind it. It is built to outspeed everything on my opponent's draft. It is built to outspeed everything from Noivern. No, I might have sped crept Greninja, not Noivern. I'm not sure. I'll have to. Yeah, sorry guys. I'll have to double check on that too. But I believe it might be just the Greninja, because I'm pretty sure I invested in it to be able to it's still underspeeding Zygarde for sure. Yeah, I'll have to look back on that. But anyway, it might be a speed tie with my own Darmanitan as well. I'll have to double check, but I think I made my Darm faster than Noivern. I think I made my Bulu faster than Greninja, but not Noivern. We'll have to see. But yeah, that was just a little bit of hopeful. It was a bit of hope for anti-prep, I guess, just to kind of force my opponent to bring max speed Noivern. But anyway, Skuntank is making its season debut this week. I'm very proud to say that, because it is one of my favorite Pokemon used in the draft. I had an instance, it was kind of a long story, I'll make it short though. There was an instance where it was able to 1v3 a Mega Heracross, a Skarmory, and a Tapu Lele in a league, but yeah, since then I've kind of fallen in love with them on. It kind of replaced Makalola for my favorite Poison Dark type. But Yeah, this is kind of built to be one of my dedicated lead options. I will say options for now. It's kind of something that I'm leaning more towards and more towards as as I look more into the matchup as my lead. The investment in attack is able to allow me to two-shot a Mega Audino from full with Gunk Shot, even if it's Fizz Def. So it is imperative, I think, that I had the investment to be able to do that. I think also just Gunk Shot being able to innately chip most of his team, excluding the Swampert, and you know, it always has a chance to poison, but you know, the chip damage is always going to be nice. And I think just putting that extra pressure on things like Swampert is going to be very nice. I think Swampert's one of those mons. I'll continuously bring up Swampert in this team builder because it is one of the mons I think needs to come versus my draft. It needs to come. It has to. Fizz Def Swampert is something I'm deeply expecting. But yeah, that was the thinking behind this. Flamethrower, again, to kind of account for the coverage that I'm missing, Swampert being the only exception. It allows me to hit Klefki and Jirachi. And I had a bit of an awkward time with the EV spread because I wanted the Flamethrower damage to be able to have a chance to 3-shot Jirachi with Flamethrower, but I ended up having to drop speed, which is a little bit awkward because I also wanted the speed to be able to ensure that I outsped, I believe it was a max speed slower mon. I'll have to double check again. I'm so sorry. The next slowest mon would have been, I think it was Klefki actually. It must have been Klefki. I think that makes sense. So it was to still guaranteed outspeed the Klefki. You know, it being a bit of a bulkier set, I felt it was imperative to take as little play rough / foul plays as I could. So being able to outspeed a Pokemon like that and potentially stall out the turns of screens with the combination of Defog and Flamethrower and Black Sludge is nice. But yeah, that's the thinking behind Skytank is Toxic Spikes or having the poison status condition on my opponent's Pokemon look really, really good this week. Not a lot of reliable removal that doesn't get hurt by Gunk Shot or Flamethrower. So yeah, being able to get those early game Toxic Spikes is going to be pretty nice for me. That's the goal with that Pokemon. Mega Diancie, again, another just really solid mon in a lot of my matchups in this league, so I figured this was another one. The thinking behind the moveset is if I'm able to get up Diamond Storm boost, I can more successfully set up against things like Swampert. Again, with me saying Swampert. So yeah, just kind of pressure things out with a rock-type coverage move, such as the Noivern or the Arcanine, and then get the defense boost, being able to hopefully threaten out something that comes in, or something that's in, and then Calm Mind up on the next thing after the defense boost. So yeah, very, very strong mon of the matchup. I think setup is just a very... is something I can really abuse against Tox's draft. I think it struggles a bit against a lot of matchup mons, or setup mons, excuse me. So yeah, Zygarde and Diancie, I'm predicting to take a lot of names this week. And yeah, to go back to the Zygarde set, because I'm going to be talking about Magnezone now, this is where Zygarde comes into play. So this was another potential lead option I was looking at, despite the fact that it doesn't necessarily... It's very passive against a lot of his team, but it is built to support. It is definitely a mon that is not here to pave the way for anything by any means. It's just definitely there to allow those mons that it's supporting to pave the way for themselves, if that makes sense. The Reflect and Light Screen combination allows for Zygarde to take things like an Audino Dazzling Gleam better, even potentially live a Greninja Ice Beam and get the Weakness Loss boost and be able to set up that way. So it's just kind of like a insurance, if that makes sense. It's there to give Zygarde the best possible chance to sweep. So yeah, the investment in special attack is there just in case my opponent opts to bring physically defensive Audino. I'm able to potentially two-shot it with Flash Cannon. I believe it's the Calc. And then Volt Switch is always just nice to get the extra chip on things that are coming in. Even if they're resisting the Volt Switch. Yeah, it doesn't hurt. Everything on my team, I think, is offensive, so I don't have a lot of bulk investment this week, but I think in terms of the matchup, my opponent has less bulk on his draft than I have on mine, so I'm kind of able to out-offense him, if that makes sense. I'm looking at more of a bulky offensive speed control team, whereas his is a frail offensive, heavy on the speed control team. So yeah, we're going to kind of see how that goes, but this is the team. A lot of things I can play off of screens with, so I'm very, very excited to get into this, and yeah, we'll see how everything goes and what my opponent decides to bring, but yeah, without further ado, we'll contact my opponent and see about getting the battle started, and I will see everybody there. All right, here we are. This is definitely one of those matchups where I don't know if I feel confident or not confident, but it's definitely one that I'm feeling kind of weird about, because I don't know, I guess I feel weirdly confident about it, but I think that I might be overlooking the team a little bit. I've had a lot of time to think about this matchup, and I don't know, I think there's just a lot of things I kind of hyper-focused on, so as a result I might be letting myself become susceptible to getting caught off guard. So we're gonna see here. I think I still stand by my predictions that a couple problem Pokemon for me are definitely going to be Swampert and potentially... let me think here. Yeah, probably Swampert and Arcanine Hisui would be the two that I'd say. So yeah, yeah, we're just gonna see how this goes, and yeah, good luck up onto my opponent. Yeah, and once again, TOX is very, very competitive. Very, very tough opponent. Very, very offensive draft too. Okay. Ampharos is something I wasn't expecting. And I will also say I don't know if Noivern was part of the 6 I was expecting either, but hey, it's here. Okay. To give people an idea, we ended up having to reschedule our battle. This is happening 2 days after the originally scheduled date. So 2 days from when the team builder was recorded. So yeah, so I don't know if anyone who's watching this, I guess y'all would have heard, I was kind of thinking that Skuntank would have been an alright lead here. Given what my opponent brought, it definitely looks like it could be, and I don't know if I see a reliable way for my opponent to get rid of Toxic Spikes early. Another thought that I had near the end of my team building recording was that Darmgaller is a very, very strong lead against my opponent as well. Just kind of get like a scout lead going there, but like it could give me a lot of information. For example, if my opponent led Mega Audino, I'd be able to tell right away whether or not it was physically defensive or specially defensive, if it were defensive at all. So having the little bit of information there would be nice. It would kind of help me gauge what type of Swampert my opponent was too, if he decided to lead that. So I think Swampert's a pretty likely lead given what he brought, just to kind of get the early game rocks. I think rocks are very, very good for him here, but yeah, we're gonna see what we can do. I mean, if I lead Skuntank, I can always hard switch into Tapu Bulu on a Swampert lead, I feel. Yeah, I'm kind of curious by the Ampharos, what it's doing. Yeah, I think I want to lead... I think I want to lead Skuntank here. I think that's an alright lead. Alright, so Swampert is the lead. Okay. That is kind of what I was worried about, but I think what I kind of do want to do here is go right into Bulu immediately. Because, yeah, Earthquake is definitely going to be doing a lot to this Pokemon. Yeah, we don't live one if he has offensive investment. He could also be flip turning here. This is a really good opportunity to potentially get up a Toxic Spike, I will say. Just in case he does opt to flip turn. Is it bad if I lose Skuntank early here? It is kind of built to help me versus Mega Audino. I'm gonna get up a Toxic Spike. Iron Tail, interesting. So he expected me to... Interesting. He might... Oh, he must have expected the Bulu switch then. That is fine. I think I go into Bulu now. It's fine. Okay. Now, part of me really does want to get off a giant wood hammer here because I was calculating a little bit. The only thing it really doesn't do much to is Noivern. Otherwise, I mean, it's still doing core to that. Everything else takes a fair chunk. Spidef Klefki takes a lot. Yeah, like, not much switches into this Pokemon right here, but he does go Noivern, that's fair. Okay, so we can kind of assume based on that that this is a max speed, max special attack Noivern. Or it isn't. Okay, that looks like it might be max HP, actually. Yeah, it's more looking like max HP. Interesting. Okay. So... Utility Noivern, that is pretty cool. So... I think this would be my best opportunity to get a Mega off with Diancie. If not, I could also... I'm just worried about Flamethrower, really. How much is Noivern doing to my Diancie base form? If it has... What's the highest damaging move that this thing could get for me? Focus Blast is there. Super effective, I don't think. Water Pulse. It's probably Focus Blast. Didn't even know the Mon got Water Pulse. Okay, so that is the most damaging thing. So pretty much over 0.5% chance to 3-shot me. So I think what I will do is just go into Diancie here. U-turns, that's fair. Probably wants to go back into Swampert. Or Klefki. Swampert, yeah. Okay. So now we have a Toxic Swampert, so that's pretty nice. The unfortunate thing here is I might have to switch. Let me just calc though, because I could get an idea based on the Earthquake damage on Bulu what type of Swampert this is. I think. Yeah, so it's physically offensive, so that's good to know. It's a high chance of being physically offensive. Actually, that was a min roll for Adamant too. So knowing that, how much is an Iron Tail doing? Yeah, it's killing. That's a cool tech. I'm a fan. Yeah, That is nice. That's pretty cool. Anyway. Base form, yeah, it still kills. That's funny. I like that tech. How much is Irontail doing to my Bulu? There's a fair amount, actually. Wow. Cool. How much is... I think I don't... I think I just have to go into Bulu, don't I? So sorry about that. Okay, I think I'm just gonna go into Bulu here. I think it's really gonna play. If he hits the Irontail, so be it. Yeah, okay. I think what I can do here is go for the Horn Leech. Get some health back. Now I can... I think I'd probably just go back into Diancie. It's okay. Now I can Mega. Oh, he gets the confusion. Wonder if he goes back in the Swampert here and Frost comes in. Okay, interesting. Okay, what kind of Assault Vest maybe? Oh wow. Yeah, that's Assault Vest. That is definitely Assault Vest. Wow. Whoa. That is fun. Okay. So what does this Pokemon get that hurts me? It also gets Irontail. Oh my lord. Lordy Lifton. I could technically go into Magnezone. I think it's not a bad play. Might be able to get up screens here. Interesting, okay. So based on that damage, goes back to Swampert. Volt Switch did how much? 13. Yeah, so it's no special attack on the Ampharos. Interesting. If I reflect here, does I think Earthquake would still kill. $84 to $99, yeah, it's likely gonna kill. Yeah, this is tricky. I think I could potentially go into Skuntank and either sack it or... I just don't want to sack this quite yet. I'm gonna reflect, I think. I'll reflect here. He goes for flip turn, nice. Read that. That's gonna help me for a little bit, I think. Screen. I might put the light screen here. Okay, that's fine. I think what I can do here is go potentially into Diancie. I wonder if I shouldn't go into this, actually. And get up a Dragon Dance. I'll try it. Does he Dazzling Gleam me? Oh, he does. Shit. Ah, that's annoying. That sucks. Damn, there goes my strat just because I didn't prep for this Pokemon. Okay. Fair enough. My win con's kind of gone now. Could have just gotten the kill off. I'm playing too fast, I think. Volt switch on this. I think what I'll do here is I'll go into Skuntank. And Defog. So I don't know if I need the screens right now. Oh, I thought I got rid of my own. Okay, that's cool. Okay. Go for the flamethrower here. Okay, that's fine. Do I need this Pokemon? Might be nice for in case I have to deal with Audina later. I think I can be a little bit more risky with Bulu because Greninja's not here, so we'll do that. Very nice. Now, do I predict the Noivern to switch in is the question. I think I'm gonna Horn Leech. Yeah, I should have stuck with my gut. It's alright. I do speed type with this. How much is Noivern doing to my Skuntank? Hurricane. It likely is a 2-shot. Actually, no, definitely 2 shots from the range. I got a little bit chip earlier. Tough. I'm assuming a flamethrower kills my Darm. It doesn't kill my Darm. I actually don't die to any hit from this, assuming it's not a choice specs. Has it gone for an attacking move? On my Mega Diancie it has. Did I forget that this is not max special attack? I think I did. Oh no, was I not Mega'd at that point? I don't think. Yeah, I wasn't Mega'd at that point, so let me calculate the damage. Okay, so it is max special attack, okay. So I still don't die to any one hit with Darm. I'm just thinking that might be my play here if I want to preserve the health on Diancie. Oh, I also don't outspeed this. How come I did that? Interesting. Okay. This is tough. How much is this doing to my... Can't see again. A lot. I'll just go into that. See what coverage he has for me. Arcane, that's fine. Okay. I really think he wants to preserve this. He might go into Klefki. How much is Klefki taking from a +1 Earth power? It should die. I'll move Bless first. Because even if he goes in Klefki here, I couldn't risk him potentially... Oh, odd, no, okay. I did a lot, oh my. Okay, so this Spadef. Once it megas. I think what we'll do is I'll Calm Mind. Just in case he wishes. Yeah, nice. I think I'll move Blast here. There it is. That's a dead nod, no? Wow, this is interesting now. So you have to go Klefki here. You go Swampert, okay. I Moonblast like this, I think. Yep. Is this a late game sweep? Oh, the crit. Okay. Well, I don't know now if Annihilate's Scarfed, maybe? Oh, Klefki's in. Third power of that. Oh, wow. This is just happening. Okay. Okay. That was not the end I was expecting. Alright. GG to my opponent. Yeah, I didn't think that... I mean, I knew Diancie was very, very threatening this week, but I definitely wasn't expecting a lot of what happened. I thought I'd have to deal a lot, or have a lot harder contention with Mega Audino this week, but you know, I guess it's just how the cookie crumbled, and I was, yeah, just kind of shocked right now, I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, good luck to my opponent for the rest of the season, and we will go into week 4 with a 6-0 win and a 3-0 win-loss column. We're going to be facing Evil, the coach of the Vietnamese Venomoths, in our week 4 bout, and as of the current moment, they haven't played their week 3 matchup, but they're also undefeated, so keep on the lookout for that, because it's going to be a tough one. But yeah, as always, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you for the next one. Alright, bye-bye.